Los Angeles is drowning. As families across America gather for Christmas celebrations, millions of Californians are facing a nightmare that has turned the holiday into a fight for survival. What began as routine weather warnings has escalated into one of the most dangerous natural disasters Southern California has experienced during the holiday season in decades. The timing could not be worse. A massive atmospheric river, essentially a fire hose of moisture stretching thousands of miles across the Pacific Ocean, has chosen Christmas week to unleash its fury on a region already scarred by recent wildfires. This is not ordinary rain. This is a perfect storm, combining multiple deadly elements into a catastrophic event that is rewriting what a holiday emergency looks like. Tuesday night marked the beginning of what meteorologists are calling an unprecedented weather assault. At approximately 9 p.m., the first wave of the storm slammed into Santa Barbara with rainfall rates so intense they stunned veteran weather experts. Within hours, the system surged south. By midnight, Los Angeles was under full siege. The rain did not simply fall, it hammered the city. Streets became rivers. Hillsides collapsed into violent avalanches of mud, rock, and debris. Entire neighborhoods transformed in minutes, leaving residents trapped, panicked, and scrambling to escape rising water. Chapter 1. Rainfall beyond anything expected. What makes this situation truly terrifying is the scale. Southern California is receiving what would normally be several months' worth of rainfall in less than 24 hours. In some areas, up to 9 inches of rain have already fallen, compared to the typical December total of just 2 to 3 inches. This is not gradual accumulation. This is a sudden, overwhelming deluge, hitting a landscape that simply cannot absorb it. The Weather Prediction Center issued a Level 4 high-risk warning, their highest possible alert. This designation appears on only about 4% of days throughout the entire year. Yet those rare days account for roughly 1/3 of all flood-related deaths and nearly 80% of total flood damage nationwide. When meteorologists reach for their most extreme warning language, it means the situation has crossed into life-threatening territory, and this is where the story takes an even darker turn. Chapter 2. Fire scars turn deadly. Earlier this year, the Palisades and Eaton wildfires burned through vast areas of Southern California. What they left behind are known as burn scars, landscapes so intensely heated that the soil itself has been chemically altered. The ground becomes hardened, almost waterproof, unable to absorb rainfall. These burn scars have effectively transformed entire hillsides into massive water slides. Instead of soaking into the earth, rainwater races downhill at terrifying speeds, carrying mud, boulders, trees, and debris with incredible force. Cars, homes, and lives can be swept away in seconds. The physics are brutal but simple. Healthy soil absorbs water and slows runoff. Burned soil repels water like concrete. When rain falls at rates exceeding 1 inch per hour, which is exactly what's happening, there is nowhere for the water to go except sideways and downhill. Los Angeles police officers spent Tuesday going door to door in the most vulnerable neighborhoods, personally warning residents that staying behind could mean death. These were not routine advisories. These were desperate attempts to save lives before conditions became unreachable. Evacuation warnings now cover vast areas impacted by the Palisades, Sunset, and Hearst fire zones, with authorities extending the danger period through Thursday night. Chapter 3. A state under siege. The human toll is heartbreaking. Families who planned Christmas gatherings are instead fleeing their homes with whatever they can carry. Children who should be opening presents are watching their parents frantically load emergency supplies into cars. Airports have descended into chaos as flights are canceled and travelers are stranded. Highways, usually packed with holiday traffic, have become death traps, where visibility drops to zero and flash floods appear without warning. As if flooding were not enough, hurricane-force winds are battering the state. Mountain regions are experiencing gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour, strong enough to topple trees, snap power lines, and turn debris into deadly projectiles. Even coastal cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego are facing gusts near 50 miles per hour, making driving nearly impossible and knocking down high-profile vehicles. Across California, reports are mounting of destroyed infrastructure and growing casualties. At least 17 people are confirmed dead statewide as flooding and wind tear through communities. Nearly the entire state is now under flood watches or warnings. Power grids are failing as wind and water take down transmission lines and short-circuit transformers. Thousands of homes are already without electricity, plunging families into darkness during what should be one of the brightest times of the year. Cell towers struggle to remain online as backup systems fail, cutting off communication just when people need it most. Meteorologists describe this event as a compound disaster, multiple hazards striking simultaneously to create devastation far worse than any single threat alone. The rain alone would be dangerous. The wind alone would be destructive. The burn scars alone create vulnerability. But together, they form a catastrophic chain reaction that overwhelms every defense system California has. Governor Gavin Newsom has mobilized the state's full emergency response. The California National Guard stands ready with rescue helicopters and high-water vehicles. Emergency shelters are opening across the region, though many are already nearing capacity. First responders are being pre-positioned in strategic locations, knowing that once conditions worsen, reaching victims may become impossible. The economic toll is already climbing into the billions. Holiday shopping, the lifeblood of countless small businesses, has come to a standstill. Restaurants that prepared for Christmas dinner crowds are instead boarding up windows. Hotels that should be full of visiting families are evacuating guests. The ripple effects will be felt for months as businesses struggle to recover losses during their most important season. Chapter 4. The New Normal. But beyond the immediate crisis lies an even more troubling reality. California's weather patterns have become increasingly extreme, swinging violently between drought and deluge. This volatility creates a vicious cycle. Drought allows vegetation to grow dense and dry, fueling massive wildfires. Fires leave burn scars. Then atmospheric rivers arrive, turning those scars into flood zones. Each disaster sets the stage for the next. Climate scientists have warned about this exact scenario for years. Warmer ocean temperatures allow atmospheric rivers to carry more moisture. Altered jet stream patterns steer these moisture-laden systems directly toward California with increasing frequency. What we are witnessing is not a freak accident. It is the emerging new normal. The psychological impact on residents cannot be overstated. Many families in evacuation zones have already endured the trauma of fleeing wildfires. Now they face flooding from the very rain they once prayed for during drought years. This emotional whiplash, fire to flood, scarcity to excess, takes a profound toll on mental health and community resilience. As Wednesday dawned, the storm showed no signs of weakening. In some mountain areas, rainfall rates exceeded 2 inches per hour, creating instant waterfalls where none existed before. Urban storm drains designed for normal rainfall were overwhelmed within minutes. Streets turned into raging torrents, carrying cars, dumpsters, and debris like toys. Emergency services report being overwhelmed with calls. Swift water rescue teams work frantically, but conditions often make rescue attempts themselves life-threatening. The heartbreaking reality is that help cannot reach everyone. Residents must make life or death decisions with incomplete information and rapidly changing conditions. Social media fills with desperate pleas for help and shocking videos of destruction, homes sliding off foundations, cars buried in mud, massive boulders crashing into neighborhoods. The long-term consequences will stretch far beyond this week. Flood damage does not simply disappear once the water recedes. Homes saturated with contaminated water often become total losses. Mold growth creates long-lasting health hazards. Foundation damage may not be immediately visible but can render buildings unsafe. Many evacuees may not return home for months, if ever. Transportation infrastructure faces years of repair. Highways undermined by flooding may require full reconstruction. Mountain roads carved into unstable slopes could remain closed indefinitely. Entire landscapes are being permanently altered. This Christmas catastrophe is a harsh reminder that nature operates on its own schedule, indifferent to holidays, travel plans, or celebrations. As the storm continues through Thursday, millions of Californians face a holiday unlike any other. Instead of joy, there is fear. Instead of celebration, there is survival. Instead of peace, there is chaos. The images of Los Angeles buried in mud and water will linger long after the storm passes, a stark reminder of our vulnerability in a rapidly changing climate. Recovery will take months, even years. But for now, survival is the only goal. This Christmas storm will not be the last. The patterns are clear. The warnings have been issued. And the future promises even more intense challenges ahead. That's it for today. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.